I was born and raised in North Dakota. Back when I was in high school, a group of us would research murders that occurred out in the country. We would then go out to find the scenes and film the exploration at night. This was about 2 years before Blair Witch. It was something to do. There wasn't much to do in the town. Eventually, we ran out of places to go. ND equals few people, few murders, and got really good at finding abandoned rural farmsteads by driving dirt roads and looking for the signs. Rut roads, deliberate tree groves, and old mail posts were common markers. We were out looking when we spotted a tree grove that was out of place, sure sign, and drove through the field and discovered an old, but not too old, house. It had padlocks on the outside doors that were knocked off pretty easily. We dispatched of them and entered the kitchen. There were 6 of us, all with flashlights, and we lit up the kitchen dining area fairly easily. The table was the initial thing you noticed, and it was strange because of how normal it looked. It was set for a meal, and not a bowl was out of place. Only thing was, we'd been in dozens of these houses, and place settings were a first, especially unbroken ones. As we investigated the area, we found the fridge had the disgusting remnants of a full stock, and the cupboards were full of canned and dry goods. This was also a first. One guy found mail on the counter from early June 1978, and another one found a really creepy TV guide in the living room with UFOs on the cover. All the photos were hanging up. Mom, Dad, bro and sis in their 1970s glory. Furniture was dusty, but in good condition. Closets were full. Everything was totally normal, which was super abnormal. As we dug around the house, we all started to realize that this house had not been moved out of it. It had been straight up abandoned. Imagine locking the door to your house and never coming back. That's the state this house was in. Complete unplanned departure. We went upstairs and split into 3 pairs to check out the 3 rooms. Ours was the closest, and obviously it was the younger boy's room. I can't describe what it looked like too well because almost right away from the hall, we heard the most terrifying scream I've ever had the misfortune of hearing. We went running into the hallway and were all yelling questions at each other at the same time. After a few really long seconds, the 2 screamers caught their breath and said, "You have to go in and see." Walking down the hall and through the doorway, I prayed I wouldn't act like a wimp in front of my friends. I shouldn't have been concerned because the others were as scared as I was. The room itself opened up to the left of the doorframe, and centered on the right side of the room was a queenish-sized bed. Propped up on pillows with the blanket drawn to the waist, arms on top of the blanket, and worst of all, head slightly turned so it was looking you straight in the eyes when you entered the room, was a life-sized porcelain doll. Snow white skin, jet black hair, cold, dead eyes. The dead eyes lit up with their flashlights, like it was waiting for us. If the head hadn't been turned, I could excuse it, but it was turned, ready for when we walked in. Ready for 20 years. Hasty exits were made down the stairs and into the car. It was during the ride we started to get even more creeped out when we realized that even though the house had been abandoned, someone had taken the time to set up that creepy doll. Not packing food, clothes, or family photos. Setting up a doll was one of the last things done in this house. No grisly massacre. No extended family. Just a tacky time capsule in the middle of nowhere. We found out that the county had taken possession of the land for non-payment of taxes, explaining the locks, but never tracked down any more information on what happened to them, or why they left that creepy doll.